everybody. Welcome back to the Street Parking Podcast. We're back again with another episode with, well, normally it's only one member, but this time it's two members that are here with us to do one of the final 5 bulk workouts. Trina and Amanda from Tillamook are with us today, and they got to do the workout together. We're not going to say what your workout was because this comes out before that, but you already did it yesterday with Julian. So can't wait for people to see that in a few days. Trina and Amanda, they work out sometimes together, but they've got brought in together because they're both from the same place in Tillamook where Julian went to high school. And there's a really cool community up there. And we felt really weird about just bringing one of them because they're kind of a little bit of a duo up there. So we had to bring both of them, and they got to do the workout together. And so we're going to get to know them together as well. Now, before we get into who you guys are and all of your story and everything, and I'm really talking about like Tillamook and how it's kind of a special place with the street parking community. Amanda, you went to school with Julian. You're a little bit older than him.
Yeah, just a year ahead of him.
Okay, so I've seen photos of Julian in high school, and I can only imagine. His personality is the way that it is now. I can only imagine what his personality and their little group of friends. Do you remember them much? Like, what can you tell us to give us an insight to what you can remember about Julian in high school?
Well, like, of course, like the first thing that stands out is his hair. Like it was long, but like floofy, it was like fluffy. It was like a fluffy, almost fro-y like.
So you guys that obviously if you're listening to this, you're most likely to remember, or at least you have some idea of Julian and who he is. But like his hair is like a thing, like it's always perfect. Blah, blah, blah. And what you're saying is that was not always the case.
No. Like now, seeing what his hair looks like now, I'm like, wow, I did not see that coming from what it was before.
How long do you remember it being? Maybe we can find a photo.
Well, it wasn't. It was like if I can remember, I feel like maybe it kind of maybe it was like down to his neck a little bit, but it kind of flipped out too. Like he had some parts of his hair that would like flip out a little bit, like boy band stuff, like early boy band stuff.
Yeah, I see. These are the pictures that I've seen, and sometimes he would like try to put a beanie over it, or he's very jealous. I will tell you of Knox and Banner and Crew's hair. Because he's like, oh my gosh, their hair, like, they just wake up and it looks cool, you know? Because he does have very, like, poofy hair that he's, always just trying to...
It's got extra volume.
That's so awesome. Did you know him very well at all back then?
So my brother and I, we moved from Southern California, like, halfway through our junior year in high school. And Julian was actually, like, one of the first... Well, because Tillamook High School is small, like compared to Southern California. I mean, we came from like a school of 1,000 students to like, I don't know, like 500 or maybe less than that. I could be way off. And so it was, everyone was like close friends. They already had their like groups, and Julian was just one of the first people to just be like, hey, you guys, like he introduced himself and invited us to go to the bowling alley, and was just, I don't know, it was just really nice to like come into this small town, and like it was super scary to like be in this totally different area, and it's definitely not a melting pot, where California was, where in Tillamook, it's definitely more like predominantly white people, which is just different. It was just a different change for us. And then for Julian to just jump right in and be like, hey, come on, you guys, like let's hang out. And he was just super friendly and outgoing, just like how he is now, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, him and my brother were super good friends in high school. And then, I kind of tagged along, going over to his house and going to the beach. We go to the cheese factory, and but so yeah, I got to know him a lot through just getting together as friends and stuff.
That's awesome. And that's how you found street parking, was through seeing him post about it?
Yeah, seeing Julian, and there were already a couple of people in Tillamook who had already signed up, but like just seeing that it was with Julian, I was like, I'll give it a shot. Why not? Like, I'll support a friend.
It's so funny. I remember when people from Tillamook started joining, how like special that was to him, and like how meaningful it was to see this community in Tillamook growing, and how I think, you know, it's one thing to have strangers be proud of you or trust you or tell you a good job or buy your product or whatever it is, but when it's like people that you feel like you know, or like a community that is super meaningful for you to impact. Like I know that still to this day, like with what he's doing with the high school, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and everything up there was super meaningful for him to see that he was like helping people from Tillamook. And I remember when you were new or you had just joined or something, him saying like, oh, her brother was like my good friend or whatever. Yeah. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Trina, who joined first?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay. And what were you doing before that?
So my husband and I, at the time we just had our first baby. We just had our one baby.
How old is your oldest?
She's 7 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's you remember almost the whole time.
It's been 5 years. March I hit my 5 years. And has it been? Yeah, because I didn't join until she was like a year old. Or like she was almost 2. But so we were living in Albany, and I just graduated nursing school, and we ended up moving back to Tillamook so that I could work at the hospital as a nurse. And Albany was where we went to our CrossFit gym out there, and that's actually where like my love for fitness started, was at the CrossFit gym. And then we moved to Tillamook, but Tillamook doesn't have a CrossFit gym. And like with work schedules, like working nights, and with my daughter at the time, I ended up just deciding I'm going to work out at home, and so that was like my thing. I just started working out at home, but I'd find like CrossFit pages and like steal their workouts. I'm like, oh, they posted one today. They posted one, and I would just get a little bit of everyone's workouts and just kind of make up my own routine. But eventually, it was like it wasn't something that I could stick to, and that's what and eventually led me to street parking, because I was like, I can't keep doing this like completely on my own. Especially coming from a CrossFit gym where there's like so many people in there, so many encouraging people. To go from that and then to just being completely alone was a big change.
So you had your baby and you were working as a nurse, which we know the hours can be a little crazy. I mean, is it like that for your OBGYN nurse?
Yeah, it's basically just basic hospital hours, like 12-hour shifts, and and at the time full time, so it was like 3 12-hour shifts in a week. And
so you were a member first. Did you introduce it to Trina, or did you find it through somebody else? Because I know there was like a community going already.
I can't remember. I think I heard it. I talked to Heidi Johnson about it.
I'll tell you this. I'm not from Tillamook, but I know how Tillamook works now. It's like everybody knows everyone. Everyone word spreads fast. People are very active on Facebook and stuff like that. So
there's a lot of members that work at the hospital. So Heidi doesn't work at the hospital, but I think I was friends with her on Facebook, and I was just seeing her workouts, and so I was like, "What are you doing?" And then she told me about it, and I think it was about 6 months, and then I signed up. Because it was a little bit intimidating, because I've never done CrossFit. And so when you hear CrossFit and you've never done CrossFit, you're like,
that
crazy. Sounds like you can't do that. Yeah, like I'm going from 0 to CrossFit.
So when you joined, you had background and you had done the movements and stuff like that before. When you joined, were you working out at home? Were you working out? I know there's like a YMCA up there, or what were you doing?
I did go to the YMCA. I made my daughter do it with me. So she's 25, she'll be 26. Okay. So she didn't do it, she didn't sign up right away, but I would have her go and do the workouts with me, because I didn't want to be alone. So yeah, I just did the workout. I think so they have the little workout area, but I didn't want to work out in front of people. So we would take our weights and we'd go into the racquetball court, and then we could run in there if we needed to or whatever. And Camden, my grandson, would usually come with us.
And now, okay, so now, do you work out at home now, or do you still do all of your stuff over there?
No, I work out at home. I have a workout room, a spare bedroom.
Nice.
Yes.
When did you make that transition? Like, how far into your membership?
So I'll try to keep this short. So I was working out at the Y with Brittany, my daughter, and then some of my friends, like I work with, I got them to do street parking with me, and then COVID happened, and then I'd already been a member for a year, so I had my equipment and whatever. But I was trying. I told the what is he? The CEO of the hospital. I'm like, I'm gonna get everybody here to do street parking. So I'm still working on that. But so I had a few friends that work there that I got them to join, and so we started working out at the park, the 9th Street Park, where we've had a meet up there before. And then just slowly, like I have a few people join me.
I feel like we should get street parking in the parade.
Yes.
Yeah, like just holding at least a banner even on the car.
Oh my god.
That would actually be because it's a big parade. Like it's a big deal.
I've been to the parade.
Yeah, the June Dairy Parade is a big deal.
Get the Mikey costume going.
Oh, that would be perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, heck yeah, that would totally work too. I mean, it's a big parade. So it would be, that would be good.
Yeah, I think
and instead of candy, like throw out protein bars.
Street parking patches.
Stickers.
Yeah. Sorry, I just should totally look at your train.
No.
That would be cool though. Because they always throw out candy and cheese. So it'd be nice to like change it up.
Beef sticks.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think about it. I think actually before COVID happened, we were doing early morning workouts with like Michaela.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Was it like at the school or something?
Yes.
I feel like you guys were always at like a red brick building.
We would always meet at the junior high. We'd meet at one of the elementary schools, just wherever was convenient for everybody. And then that's when I did early morning workouts. I don't do early morning workouts very much anymore.
They come and go.
Yeah. So then COVID happened, and we started working out at the park mainly when it was nice. And then people kept saying, "Hey, I want to come." So I started a group text, and so I think we had like at one point in time we had like 20 people.
I remember.
Come with us.
That's crazy. Okay, and so then you started getting some stuff so that you could work out at home, like around during that same phase.
Yes,
okay.
I had pretty much whatever I needed.
Because the YMCA was it closed for a while?
Or they modified their hours a lot.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm all about keeping the gyms open, so
Yeah.
That's good. It's a small town. You should fly under the radar. No one's coming to check the Tillamook YMCA. All right, cool. And so, when did you guys? So you guys knew each other before, though. Yeah. But it wasn't necessarily her that brought you into it. How often do you two work out together now?
Now, regularly, at least once a week. Like our goal is because a year and a half ago, we dedicated to we were like, we want to like do the vault. Okay. We want to finish that together. And so we're like at least once a week. And our goal was to do the vault workout once a week. So since then we have stuck to trying to do once a week. For the most part, we do once a week. And if not, we're always communicating like, did you do the vault? Did you do the workout?
Yes.
Did you get it? How was it?
That's awesome. Do you guys, when the vault is announced, do you be like, oh, great, did you see the vault workout for next week or whatever?
Always. She's always the one telling me like, running. It's running now.
Now you know all of them. No, you don't know all of them. You know the last 5 but we've still got some to go before that, so you don't know all of them yet. That's really cool. You guys did your vault workout with William yesterday. Obviously, don't say what it was. But if you had to describe it, if you would have seen that as the announcement, would you have been excited about it, or would you have been like, oh no?
I think I would have been excited, honestly, because like how I felt, I was like, thank goodness, that's what it is. I'm so glad.
Okay. Yeah. What about the other ones that you saw?
yeah, they're a little intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, thank goodness we didn't have that one.
That's awesome. Well, okay, so you're a nurse and you work in an OB's office,
Yes.
or what? But you're trained to be an EMT.
Yes.
And you'll be in you said like an urgent care.
Yes.
So I know what your hours are like because you're like a nurse, but what are your work hours like?
Right now, so I do work in urgent care on the days that my doctor's not in the office. So on the days that she's in, it's basically like 9 to 5, 8 to 5.
Okay. So more regular schedule.
Right. And then urgent care are 12-hour shifts, so 8 to 8.
Oh, so you've got both going.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those do you do a week?
2.
So you do 2
Yeah.
12s, and then the rest of the days it's a 9 to 5.
One of the days that I work in urgent care is kind of cut short because they're trying to save us from having overtime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that like makes Julian sad about Tillamook sometimes is he feels like when we go up there that in general, because it's such a small town and it's like a rainy town and like everything, that people just aren't super motivated to do much about like their health. And he gets, and there's not a lot of like, there's not a ton of options. Like there's not Whole Foods up there by any means, and it's getting better for sure. There are becoming more and more options.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you guys describe like the culture around like health and fitness and all of that in a small town like that?
Yeah, I mean, we do have like I feel like there's a small group who are like dedicated, and like Heidi, especially Heidi.
Yeah.
And then maybe if you're like Kim and a few other people who we know are like dedicated to like working out, eating healthy, and clean. But it feels like it's rare to find the ones who are like dedicated to like keeping it like for a long term and not just, I'm doing this to lose some weight, and then they fall off and they don't continue doing it. But yeah, I'd say it's rare. It's rare to find the other person that's like, who we can relate to when it comes to health and fitness.
Are you talking about like street parking or just
No, I'm talking
Just
about
in general,
specifically,
yeah.
like Tillamook, just like the culture of the whole place.
I think just with how the weather is, it's hard to want to go outside and just kind of be active. Yeah, it's hard once you're already kind of in that mode. It's hard to get motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, it's like a lot of farms and stuff up there, so a lot of people, their jobs are very like,
Yeah, they're working a lot as well.
yeah, and maybe it's more the like options for nutrition and stuff like that up there, where it's like a lot of again, it's like getting better, but it's a lot of like fast food or the only options for restaurants and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when you're working all day, like on a farm or doing something like construction or whatever, and you're hungry, like you're not gonna go home necessarily, and you haven't been educated, or you're not around people who are like meal prepping. Like it's not necessarily like a big part of the culture up there yet.
That's
so
true,
one of the things that I think, one of the reasons that it makes me so happy that you guys are growing, like the street parking community up there, is because like the more people that's just like normal and this is what we do, and they can see that example is. I know, especially with the kids up there, it's why he's wanted to, get involved in the high school and everything. How has that been for you guys? Because how long have you lived in Tillamook? Your whole life?
My whole life, yeah.
Okay. And you've been back and forth, it sounds like, and you live in California and in Albany. And what would you say is your biggest challenge living in a smaller town? Because it's a small town, and there's only like really one way in and out of that place, and sometimes it's really backed up, and it is kind of like it's a commitment to go down to Portland or whatever. What do you think for you personally is your biggest challenge living in a place that doesn't have as many options for, pretty much everything to maintain like a healthy lifestyle, and like what have you done to overcome that, I guess?
Yeah, I guess like limited options, even like it just, you're right so it is nice when the fast food is available for like it's just like the busy days, and but it would be nice if we had like a Chipotle.
Or like,
So like
you guys
fast
have
food,
fresh
right? Like
something
healthy
like that,
fast
yes.
food options.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yes.
It would be so nice. I mean, that just having just one would be so. I mean, the Garcia, that they have like bowls that they serve, so we occasionally like to go there. But yeah, having limited options definitely makes it challenging.
I was super pumped when the actual Starbucks came. We go up there a lot, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it wasn't just the
Like the
Starbucks
drive-thru.
inside Fred
Yeah,
Meyer.
yeah.
It was like an actual Starbucks.
drive-through, yeah.
Properly
It's
trained
separate,
baristas
yeah.
and all. Yeah, that's new though. That's super new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there.
It's nice.
It's pretty nice.
It's really nice, actually.
I've gone in there.
I've only gone
I love that. I've been there
through.
several times and you haven't been there.
I've been through the drive-through.
Through, but every time I'm always looking inside, like it's
nice
so
inside.
nice in there.
It's like I drive there directly because I always have to pee when I get there and like I want a coffee, but you know, after that long drive. So yeah. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah,
the
so
nutrition
limited
thing, like
options.
a quick option for when you don't have food prepped. I mean, you have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And you're pregnant with your 4th. Congratulations, surprise.
Um,
But like that's hard, especially with your work schedule. You get off a 12-hour shift and maybe you're like, oh shoot, I know I don't have food at home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was something quick
Mhm.
would be nice.
Yeah, it would be.
And then, Trina, you mentioned the weather because it's similar to the weather here,
Yeah.
where it's just kind of soggy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to go outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I dread when it's pouring down rain and I'm like, I have to go to work and go outside in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it would be nice, like if it weren't for the rain, I think working out just the options of being able to work out outside, especially if you're working out at home and you're having limited space,
Yeah.
it would be nice to take it outside, which I know there's many times where we're limited on where we can work out because if it's raining, we need something covered. Like we want to be under a cover, so we end up going to the junior high. But you know, it's just really limited on where we can end up working. And a lot of times we end up in my living room.
Right. Yeah, if you guys have been to Amanda's Instagram, she's in her house a lot, like in her living room. But I really love it because you guys are like running around. And, I think it's a really good example of what's possible and what you can do.
I work out
Yeah.
in my living room a lot too, even though I like my workout room's, directly like 20 feet away. But I like to watch TV when I work out, and I don't have a TV in there yet, so I'll work
What
out.
do you watch?
Probably true crime shows.
Are you actually watching it? Like, you watch something.
It is hard to watch.
Background noise.
I just turn on some music, Trina.
I
do there's like a murder mystery going on in the background while you're dying.
It gets her amped up. No.
She's like, they found what in the bushes? Wait, what number was I on? That's so funny.
I don't know why I like to watch TV, I guess. And also my husband's usually in there. Sometimes you'll see
In the living room or in the workout room?
in the living room.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see him sitting there while I'm dying. He's just sitting there on his phone.
Does your husband ever do the workouts with you? I know your husband does sometimes.
Like, yeah, once in a blue moon.
No.
Never.
I've
Has he
tried.
never done one single one?
Oh,
I've
man, that's
tried.
rough. That's
He
rough.
he goes to the Y. He likes
So, okay.
he likes the strict lifting and
Let's be honest, he just doesn't want to be that uncomfortable.
no,
Yeah.
no, I agree. Yeah, he just doesn't want me to beat him because I can out burpee him. I'm sure.
Oh, I mean, you're deep into it now. Like, he would have to train for a while. Maybe he is doing street parking at the Y, and you just don't know. He's training to start, and so that when he does his first one, he's not so far behind.
Yeah. He's going to my Instagram and like, what did you do
He's
today?
secretly training for president too. That would be really fun. You should get a husband or a wife to do that.
Yeah.
Talk somebody's husband or wife into training to
Mm-hmm.
beat them, but completely in secret.
It should be a challenge. Like, if you could get your significant other to work out with you this many times, like, you get a shirt.
A prize.
A prize.
A tree.
That's really funny. Do you guys ever go to the Y up there anymore?
Oh, rarely,
We
because
did
I don't
a
want to
couple
pay
times.
to get it.
We did a couple times
Yeah.
for last year's fall. When they had, like,
Yeah, we
rain and
did.
it was raining outside. Or I don't particularly like to run in the dark
Mm.
by myself.
And it's dark in certain months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here, it gets dark really early and it doesn't get light outside until like pretty late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been working out at noon, but now it's starting to get warmer, and so we've been working out at like 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Noon is our go-to if it's dark in the morning and it's cold, because it's been really cold.
Yeah.
But once it starts to warm up and it's nice, the 6 a.m. because it works out better for me, at least for me.
Have you guys, because you lived in Tillamook your whole life and you've lived there a lot, do you notice a difference in your mood, because it is so gray, if you fall out of consistency a little bit? Because that's one of the things, whether it's because it's rainy or because I'm pregnant or because this, that, or whatever, all the things that can affect our mood. I'm tired. What we'll often say is like, people will be like, I'm not motivated, like I can't get it going. It's like, just force yourself to do something because you'll always feel better. It's the like believing that this is actually going to help instead of making it worse. Like stop waiting to be motivated, like go do it and then you'll be motivated to do it again. Have you found like a big difference when, like especially in the winters here, with like mood, if you are consistent versus if you're not?
I definitely do have to force myself. Like it's more of a, especially during the winter months, like come on a minute, like let's just do it. You have to do it. You have to get it done. But you always feel better after a workout though.
Do it? Like, so when you're like, I don't feel like it, neither of you are having your husband be like, come on, let's go work out. So how
Right.
do you, is it each other? Is it the Facebook group? How do you get past that?
Honestly, for me, it's just more self-talk in my head, like get your ass up and get it done.
Yeah, I have
like
to.
I just have to like talk myself into doing it and forcing myself. And
I know you put in your email about how, because you've been pregnant, this is your 3rd pregnancy with street parking now, right?
Yeah.
More than nothing, like just the like permission to be like, hey, just go start something, and even if it's like super whack kind of.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, I could be in my pajamas. I could.
Yeah.
It could be like a random time of the day. Sometimes it's at night, in the morning. The kids could be crazy, stopping a million times, but still do it. It's not going to be perfect, but still get it done. And honestly, it does help with energy and mood during the winter months. Like as much as it like sucks to have to force myself, you know, because of the weather and all that, I still end up feeling a lot, like 100 times better as soon as I get it done.
Yeah.
Discipline over motivation.
Yeah.
Because I have to force myself a lot. People always say, oh my gosh, you're so motivated.
No, it's not about motivation at
I
all.
just know I have to do it. I know I feel better.
Funny that people say that. Like people aren't like, oh my gosh, you're so motivated to shower, and it's like, no, you just shower.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
Yeah. Who was it that talked about the brushing your
It's
teeth?
I say that
was
a lot.
you, right?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
you're not motivated to brush your teeth. You just like
It's so true.
at night I'm like, I just want
comparison.
to lay down. I don't want to wash my face. I don't want to take my makeup off. I don't want to floss and all this stuff. But you just do it because
I do it because I want it. I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I know I will always feel better after a workout.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, no one ever regrets doing a workout. Like after they get it done, no one regrets it.
Yeah, I usually work out after work, and so the whole time I'm driving home, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't want to work out. I'm not going to work out. Yeah, you're going to work
it's
out.
this crazy like you're in a full on conversation with
Yes.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I get in the house, because I'm still talking myself out of it, into it, out of it, into it, and I just go in, I get my workout stuff on, I put my music on, or I put my TV on, and
True
I
crime.
just do it. And every time somebody's killing somebody.
What was I gonna, now I can't even remember what I was going to ask you after the true crime comment. Because you guys both work 12-hour shifts. So one of the questions that we get a lot, you guys have probably seen it on Facebook, because we have a lot of nurses and shift workers in the community and their members, because gym schedules don't make sense for them because of their way that their shifts work. What advice do you have, because both of you guys have been doing that for a while, what advice do you have? Like you said you work out after work. Does that mean after the 12 hours? Or if it's a 12-hour day, will you not work out? How do you both fit that in? And obviously you can have different answers for that.
I don't have if I work 12 hours, sometimes I'll take a rest day, sometimes I'll just say, okay, like sometimes Amanda and I will work out at noon when I work a 12-hour, or
Okay,
I'll
so
work out.
what usually is the shift for you?
8 to 8.
PM to AM?
Yeah,
Okay.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not an overnight?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is yours ever an overnight?
It used to be. Yeah, for 3.5 years, I did overnight shifts,
What were the hours?
7 to 7. Yeah, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
2 days a week?
At 3 a.m., I was working full time when I was doing night shift. Yeah, well, the way my schedule worked is I worked 4 in a row, but yeah, it was rough. But I still would get my workouts done in between shifts. I don't know how, but
I would even.
What is with the 12-hour thing? Like, why can't you have?
Well, the more days off
Okay.
is what more working hours are closer together. So then the staff ends up getting more days off, even though it's the same amount of time, but it just feels like more time off. And you just get your shifts over faster.
It's so interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think the transfer of care, like with patients,
I see. That
it's
makes
like
sense for
instead of like
them.
3
One, two,
nurses,
so many times,
yeah, and it's just
Okay.
better transfer of
Urgent
care.
care
Yeah.
is just open 8 to 8. That's why we do 12 hours.
Okay. So it's not like a 24-hour one. Okay.
There was a few times that I also, and you have too, worked out just like in the middle of your shift. I just pick out a 10-minute workout because I get a 10-minute break.
So do you go, when you do that, because I've seen nurses, like we definitely have nurses that do that, and I see that, and maybe some of them are doctors too, I'm not sure. But we'll see them in like the break room. Where do you go to do that?
I just go into a patient room.
And do your coworkers know that you're doing that? Like, it's fine?
Yeah.
How did you approach that the first time that you wanted to try it? Like, did you just be like, hey, I'm gonna go in this room and work out really quick? Or, I mean, because I feel like where a lot of people struggle is just like, they would feel weird saying that. Like, if it wasn't a thing there.
Yeah, I don't think I felt weird. I have like Brittany.
People do other things. Like, it's better than just sitting on your phone.
Yeah, Brittany, my daughter also works at the clinic, so we would work out in a patient room together. Or there's also another. She's a nurse practitioner. She also does street parking, so we would all 3 go work out together.
What kind of breaks do you get on 12-hour shifts?
I get 2 15s and a half-hour lunch. Yeah, it's usually.
I figured you guys didn't get lunch.
Well, it depends on how the day's
what's
going and what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what they offer.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you'll either take, if you're doing an 8 to 8, sometimes those end up being your rest days. If it's not a rest day, would you work out before you went to work or after?
I have done both.
Okay.
I don't like working out at 8 o'clock at night.
It's hard.
After a 12-hour shift.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
When you were doing the night shifts, what was your weekly schedule like as far as like work and fitness?
So on night shift, I would try to, as much as I could, I would try to work out in between shifts. So like as soon as I woke up, after going to sleep, as soon as I woke up, then I'd get a workout done.
What
Go to
time
work
were
that
you waking
night.
up? So you'd work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah, I was a terrible sleeper when I worked nights. Like,
How many kids did you have at this point?
I had the 2. Yeah, I had the 2 when I was working nights. And I would wake up. Most people try to sleep till like 4 in the afternoon. But I was always waking up at like 11 a.m., noon.
So you were getting like 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah. So I don't recommend that at all. Like at all. But that was just how my body worked. I, as much as I tried to get good sleep between shifts, I just couldn't. No matter what I did, I just
Your body,
couldn't.
like, never got used to it.
Never got used to it. And I just on mom mode too, like it didn't matter how far away from the kids I were. If I heard any little peep, it was hard.
Oh my gosh.
It was so hard not to be like, what was that? Like I just, do I need to go downstairs, help my husband? And so it was just that. And so it was just hard to sleep. And so
you miss them. Like you want like.
and I want to be there. I feel like I need to be there. So it was hard not to want, like I end up getting up early every time and then work out. But I figured I have a lot of time. I might as well just get a workout done. And So then I was pretty good at trying to get at least like 4 to 5 workouts done, even working full-time nights. And so I don't recommend getting up early to work out between night shifts, but that was just how it worked out for me.
Wow. And then, okay, so you said your 3 days were back to back.
Yeah, like so it was actually like 4, the way my schedule, it was like 4 on, 2 off, 2 on, and then 6 off or something like that. Yeah.
Would you sleep through the night on your
My days off?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, easy. I could easily switch back just because I was so tired and my body just automatically always wants to sleep on nights. So easy, I'd go right, I'd sleep. I mean, I could fall asleep easy after nights, and I could still, like, if it was my last night shift, come home, sleep for a little bit, and I could still go back to sleep that night.
Okay, so when you were doing that, would you push harder on days that when you were not your work days, or like days that came after a full night's rest?
Yeah.
Like, did you plan workouts?
Yeah. So like between shifts is definitely like a more than nothing type of workout, like do it just to do it. And then on my days off, it was for sure reserved for more higher intensity.
Right.
So, because in between shifts, it's like, okay, you just got to get it done, do something. And then on the days off, like I've slept, I feel better.
Yeah, because I think
I'm
that's
gonna
one of the things
step it up.
Because when we get the questions about like, well, I'm a shift worker, like I almost feel like it's not healthy for me to work out, and it's like, well, here's the reality, like without sugarcoating it at all, it's not super healthy. Like that just is true. Like night shifts for sure. The 8 to 8 I think is manageable because you can still sleep during normal sleep hours when it's dark and on circadian rhythm and all that stuff. But like the truth is, like when you're working, it's not the most healthy lifestyle, and there's no really getting around that. But what you are doing is what I would suggest to people is like, hey, you still want to move though, and your job is, I mean, you guys are on your feet a lot as nurses, but it's not. There's still a benefit, even if you can't push really hard, even if you need to go lighter, even if you need to do the more than nothing workouts or the like shift version and not time it or whatever. There is still benefit. It should help you sleep better. It's still great, like all the health benefits, but just don't allow yourself to get frustrated with not being able to do what you know you are capable of if you had gotten full sleep, and save like the vault or whatever for the days where you know you can really push it, if that means something to you, or like days where you want to lift heavy, like save that for the days after you've gotten a really good night of sleep. And then people always ask us too about, well, how should I eat? Because in breakfast, I just got home, like when it's normally breakfast time, and you can share like what you did around that. What we usually say is, just because it's 7 a.m. does not mean you need to eat breakfast foods. Like just eat regularly, try to treat it like a normal day. So if you wake up at 4 p.m., it's okay to eat breakfast
for sure.
at 5 p.m. You know what I mean? And where it's tough is when some days are one way and some days are another way, because then your body just gets confused and you start craving and snacking on weird stuff and everything. How did you pack food with you to go overnight and everything?
Oh yeah,
for sure. Because since we're such a small hospital, we don't have a cafeteria that's open.
Okay.
So anyone who works night shift has to bring their own food. But at the time when I was doing night shift, I had done the Jacked by June challenge, and that was like my first challenge doing with street parking. That was like when I first started, so 2018. And so I really got into doing the template, and I would pack all my foods, but like, I had to make sure I was getting all my carbs, like hitting all my macros with the carbs and the protein and everything and fat. And so I had to like pre-make all my food before going to work, have it ready. And it absolutely did not matter what time of day, as long as I was getting all my meals in. I mean, that's all that like really mattered to me at that point. If it didn't matter what time, if it was 8 p.m., I'd eat my breakfast, depending on like how I was feeling. And because it doesn't matter as long as if you're using template, like you get those 4 meals in.
Yeah, absolutely. What has been the coolest thing that you've been able to do physically or habit that you've changed since starting street parking? So maybe it's like, oh, I never would have thought that I could use the 25-pound dumbbells, or I never thought that I would be able to run a mile, like something that, or a habit, like I never thought that I would stop drinking regular soda. I don't know what your habits changes. I'm just giving examples. Can you think of anything, Trina, that you've been like, dang, I'm really proud of myself for that?
Well, your consistency with working
Yeah,
out,
okay.
you do so well with that.
I never thought that I would be as strong as I am.
Wow, okay.
And, because I'm 45 and kind of my era, women aren't supposed to be strong. But then when I started street parking, I totally changed my mindset on that, because when I first started street parking, I just wanted to be skinny, like I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of chased that dream from when I had kids, because I was small. I didn't do sports or anything like that, and I wasn't active. I hated PE, but I was always walking around or active that way. So I could eat whatever I wanted to. And then when I got pregnant, nobody told me, hey, your metabolism changes. You can't just eat Doritos all day long, or eat bad food and not have consequences for it. So then I kind of yo-yoed with my weight after my second one. I got in really good shape, and then I quit doing everything, quit eating healthy, quit working out. And so I would gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight. And I just wanted to be skinny. I didn't care about being strong until street parking. And then I realized having muscles is more than just like being strong. It's about, preventing disease and helping you live longer. And so I'm always working on being stronger. And I underestimate myself a lot, I think, because I'll be like, oh, I can't do this workout, and then I'm just say, oh, I'm just gonna do it. And then I wanted to use 25s for a workout that had, I think it had double press and box jumps. I think that was the workout, and it was 4 double press. So I'm like, I'm going to use my 25s.
Oh, because it's only 4 at a time.
It's only 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it the whole time. And I said, okay, I'm just going to put my 20s right here. And if I need them, I'll grab them. And I kept saying to myself, I need them. No, I don't need them.
Just do one more round.
Yeah, one more round.
Yeah.
And I had my daughter. She was my younger daughter. She's 21. She was sitting there. And my last couple of rounds, I said, Lil, you need to count for me. So she counted down. So then I knew there was an end to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just being stronger.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What about you?
There's a couple things. I would just say just starting working out in general. When I started at the CrossFit gym in Albany, I wasn't big into working out, but I remember when they had us lift a 45-pound bar just to practice to see where our base level was. Yeah. And it was so heavy. I remember if I got one rep,
How
I was
old were you at this time?
Oh gosh, I think I had to have been 25 maybe at the time. Yeah, so it's been a while. And I just sticking to working out. I can't believe I never thought that I could lift more than 45 pounds. That bar was so heavy. It was so heavy. But I kept going, and just the adrenaline, and just seeing how much the more you lift, the more you're yeah, I got this, I can do it, and it's addicting, And when you can see how much you can do, and now I can't lift super heavy now, but
strong.
My last clean and jerk when I was at my best for me was 145. And I was dang, I never thought I could get to that point.
Wow.
But then with street parking, I never thought, just now being in my 4th pregnancy, that I'd be still working out, I thought, I'm, just in general, most people just, once they have so many kids, they go through pregnancy, they're done. They don't do it anymore. It's hard to keep up. And I think that street parking has definitely helped with that I didn't think I'd be at this point where I'm still working out. Like it's still part of my normal life. Like, and now I can't see it being any different. Like it'd be so weird to live a life of no working out at all.
Yeah, right?
Like not ever thinking about health or fitness.
Do you ever think about, Trina, when your kids were little, did you participate in fitness at all? Like regularly?
Off and on.
Okay.
No, I started at the Y, just doing
Like what kind of
step
stuff would you do?
aerobics.
Okay.
I love step aerobics. I taught the class a few
okay.
times, not a lot, because I don't like being in front of people. But the girl that taught it, she taught me how to do it. So if she was ever out of town, I could do it.
Oh, okay.
And then I never knew what to do inside the gym, so I didn't do.
You just did like the group classes.
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah, and then I tried Beachbody a few times. I did do one CrossFit workout by myself. Had no idea what I was doing. No, just at my house.
Where did you get it? How did this one CrossFit workout happen?
I looked it up online. I don't even remember what it was. I think it had sit-ups in it. But I was like, yeah, it's not for me.
Nope, one and done for me.
Yeah. So I did Beachbody a lot. But it's boring.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We were in that group. Was that you?
Oh,
We were in that group.
You were in the Beachbody group too?
Well, it wasn't. Oh, it was
Right?
there were other Beachbody members who put together this like fitness group, but they weren't necessarily encouraging to use Beachbody, but they were doing it as part of
Was
their
it a
like.
Tillamook group though?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
this happens a lot in Tillamook. I feel like there's like trends that everybody does. And that's so funny. Because what I was gonna say is like, you have 3 little kids. Can you? Because I think about this all the time. Are your kids boys or girls? I can't remember.
2 girls and a boy.
Okay, not that it matters, but our boys are nuts. Like they book it. They're fighting each other. They want to be carried all the time. Like so, right? And I just think constantly because I feel like I'm very fit compared to the general population. Like, and so I'm like, how do people that have no fitness in their life, how do they take care of their children? Because like, it's very physically demanding. Do you wonder that? Because I wonder that a lot.
Sure.
Oh, for sure. Especially like constantly doing the picking up, putting down, picking up, putting down, the carrying, just all the physical work of everything else that has to be done.
Literally the other day,
Like
I was
how?
hiding Easter eggs. Okay, I'm with crew on my chest. He's like 22 pounds now, and like I was like, this is exhausting. I was like, how do other people do this kind of stuff that have like no base level of strength or like endurance or whatever? Because like, or carrying them through an amusement park or the fair or the airport and taking all their stuff. Like Julian and I, when it's like we go on a trip with them, it's like so much stuff.
The stroller. Oh yeah, pack the stroller.
And I just wonder that. Like it's literally like if nothing else, if you want to be a parent or you are a parent of young kids, like train for that because it's like very physically demanding.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, or just like, I mean, just the amount of times that I've, picked and put down my kids, I mean, I feel like it helps to like know like a level of fitness of proper technique of picking them up
like
too,
how to
because
shift your weight a little
I'm
bit.
thinking like I can't imagine all the back injuries that have happened from people picking their kids up.
My bicep will start cramping when I'm holding them too long. But like knowing like okay, the sandbag is like one of my favorite tools for that whole situation because it's kind of the same size. Where like I don't know, sometimes I'll be like, all right, buddy, you're going on my shoulder, and I'm just bringing you home like this now, or you can front rack whatever.
Yeah. Oh
and I think it's just getting comfortable in those positions, and but it also builds confidence. I was doing a workout the other day where it was like a bear hug sandbag carry, and I'm just like, this is no different than carrying my child, and so you just carry it for so long. Yeah, I wonder that constantly, and I wonder. You guys think about that?
There was a day that my husband and I, so we live like close to the junior high in Tillamook, and they have like a really cool like trail and stuff, in the elementary school is like right there too. Well, we take our kids to the playground at the elementary school, and of course, like, there's always a child who wants to be carried back home. Like,
Always.
if they ride their bike
their
there,
stuff.
they don't want to ride it back,
Yes.
or they're in the wagon, but for some reason they want mom, or
Yes.
and so
I'm like pushing
I have
the
held a
stroller
child.
and carrying the child. in my arm. Yeah.
I've held the child all the way back from the playground, and I'm like, how there's no way other people could do this. This is
Or
so
even, like,
hard.
the way you think about it too, because you start like using the same sort of like mind tricks on yourself when you're carrying your child. Like, all right, I'm gonna get to the corner. Yeah, I'm gonna switch sides.
A few more steps. Yeah.
Just get to the corner. You can do this. It's the same stuff that you do like in a workout, farmer carry, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get to the stop sign. I'm gonna put him down,
Yeah.
take it out, pick him back up. You know,
Yeah, or my husband will I'll be like, you want me to hold? I'm like, no, I got this.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know how people do it. The last thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Have you guys seen the high school? Have you been
I
there?
know.
Seen it?
I've only seen pictures and videos.
Okay, yeah, it looks
But
so great.
yeah, it looked awesome because I did
So
take
awesome.
in high school. I took a bodybuilding class. I think this is what
Oh,
the
wow, that's
class was
cool.
called, and that's like when I was like very, very first introduced to any kind of weightlifting. And it was just the smallest little weight room, like so small in
Right
there.
behind the gym, right?
Yeah,
The
like
gym.
right
Yeah.
behind where the
Yeah, that's where it
basketball, and
is.
you would walk into that little room, and it was so tiny. We're doing like the old school like incline like bench press, and now it's a full on like weightlifting room, like a whole big
Yeah, they got
room.
turf
It
in
was
there, they've
so
got
cool.
sleds,
Looks
assault
so great.
bikes, rowers, like.
I actually wondered. I'm like, is it open to the public?
You should find out. I know the teachers use it. I know that like during like off hours, some of the ladies, some of the female teachers will go in there, but they'll like close the blinds and everything because they don't want the students to see that. And they feel subconscious or whatever. But I do know some of the teachers are using it, so I'm sure.
Yeah, that is pretty cool though, because considering what it was before when I was in high school, like that's a big deal.
Because Julie and I, one time we were up visiting and we wanted to work out and they let us use it, and it was like so dingy and like the equipment was so old and everything.
Oh yeah.
Probably from when my husband was using it.
They should open it during like off hours and charge people like
Oh,
to
yeah.
raise money
For the high school.
sports.
Yeah, that's a good idea
I feel like
actually.
people would come use it.
I know we would.
I would.
We would be there for sure.
Yeah, with the sleds and the turf and everything, especially if it's raining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We should ask about that.
Definitely should.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you guys came together and you got to do that workout together, and I love that you guys have your friendship and
Yeah.
connect over the vault. And,
Yeah, we needed that. We
are
needed that.
keeping the vibes going in Tillamook. So I can't wait for you guys to see their workout with Julian, just the whole Tillamook crew, now that his hair is not poofy anymore. Okay?
I gotta see pictures.
Oh, I have, he's like younger in this picture that you sent the other day, but yeah, there's some.
I have some on my phone somewhere, but they're like mixed in. I gotta look for it.
I feel like was happening with like necklace. He said they used to have like parties up in their attic at.
Yeah, it was like above, I want to say it was above like the garage
Yes.
area, and like the lights were out, but he had like all these like neon like flashing lights. There's little black lights are on, and he had like a little mini bar.
Like tea from Tivana, I think he would say, and they would like try to serve like different types of teas. Be like fancy. But I mean, him and his brother, they're just still to this day, like you said, like they love hosting people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I worked out with Ricky a couple times.
Oh, okay. So Julian's
Yes.
brother.
And he
Where?
went, at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe even at the Y, but it didn't last very long because he made me want to puke a few times.
Oh yeah.
He was hardcore.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's more their personalities are very different
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. But that's awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks, and we can't wait to see how baby number 4 goes for you also.
Yeah.
And add another little member to the pack.
Mm-hmm.
All right.